Susan, Cassie, Heather, Rod, family and friends of Randy Richardson. I'm Les Lenkowsky, and I first met Randy on Christmas Day 1975 when he interviewed me, then a state government employee without any accrued leave, for a position with the Smith-Richardson Foundation. I was looking for a way out of a poorly chosen job in Harrisburg, a bad place to be even when the work is good. When this man I did not know phoned to ask me if I would be interested in what he called the foundation business, I jumped at the opportunity. The truth is that at the time I knew practically nothing about philanthropy. The only people I knew in the foundation business sold ladies' undergarments, and I did not think that is what he was asking me to do. But my ignorance did not really matter, because Randy, who had become president of the foundation not long before, was something of a novice himself. To be sure, as we've just heard, he had had some excellent teachers: Frank Barnett, Clifton White, Dick Cornell, Dick Ware, and others, not least of all his father, H. Smith Richardson. And as he did with everything, Randy worked hard to educate himself, reading widely, talking to lots of people, and taking to heart the advice he considered sensible. But the fact that Randy was a newcomer to the world of organized philanthropy, and not the least bit inclined to spend his time at the endless succession of conferences that are its caviar and crackers, proved to be a great asset. It enabled him to ignore what foundation leaders were increasingly accepting as how they should operate, and instead fashion a do-good program, another favorite phrase of his, that actually did a lot of good. One important point of difference was that Randy understood that the success of the foundation ultimately depended not on his notions, let alone those of his staff, but on the ideas and abilities of the foundation's grantees. On my first day at work, I asked him to define success for me, and he replied, "Find good people who are going our way and support them." I then asked how I was to do that, and he said that my most important tool would be a good Rolodex. In time, an extraordinary list of people populated the foundation's Rolodex, too numerous to name, but including many here today. Their contributions are Randy's real legacy. Perhaps because of his experience as a publisher, Randy also knew that trying to put talented people on a short leash was a fool's errand. So not for the Smith-Richardson Foundation were the kinds of frequent reports and outcome evaluations that are so much a part of philanthropic fashion today. "No muss, no fuss," one grantee said admiringly of his relations with the foundation. Of course, not everyone had that experience, but Randy liked to take the long view. An organization endowed in perpetuity, something he did not really like, could at least afford to be patient about results. Randy objected to the well-appointed offices and buildings so many foundations occupy. Ours were in loft buildings before they were converted. Much of the furniture was secondhand, and the carpet resembled a putting green, but we got a great deal on it. Randy also insisted on keeping a low profile. Our published address led the legions of grant seekers to the foundation's administrative office in Greensboro, which usually replied with a polite turndown. The aim was not to keep what we were doing secret. Critics of our grantees had no difficulty identifying the sources of their support. but running a lean and unpretentious organization allowed all of us, Randy included, to do more efficiently what we were expected to do. Not least, Randy was steadfast in his belief that foundations were products of the private sector, the fruits of entrepreneurs like his father, and thus had a special responsibility for its continued well-being. He took issue with the notion, still influential today, that philanthropy should aim to develop and promote new government programs to fix societal problems. Under Randy's leadership, the Smith-Richardson Foundation also sought to influence public policy, not to expand government, but, in a phrase used by one of its projects, to empower people, and for those behind the Iron Curtain, to free them. George Gilder, another one of our grantees, once observed that universities must be great repositories of knowledge. Students come in knowing so much and leave knowing so little. I entered the foundation world knowing very little and left knowing so much I managed to build a career on it, even becoming a professor of philanthropic studies. But Randy Richardson was the person who wrote the book. And for that, not only I, but all those who served at the foundation with and after me, and the many who in one way or another benefited from the foundation's work, will be forever grateful.